Have you ever heard of this famous quote? Maturity is the ability to think, speak, and act your feelings within the bounds of dignity. This quote comes to us from a famous poem called Youth by Samuel Ullman, where he explores the concept of maturity and its connection to expressing oneself within dignity. I want to welcome you back to part two of our discussion of men's emotional growth, where we are stepping beyond our feelings and into emotional maturity. I am David Galparin, otherwise known as Curious Davy, and this is Men's Whole Health, brought to you by Dave Davy's Brain, where we're building stronger, more resilient men. And if you listened to our last episode, we talked about the foundation of emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, or EQ. We covered self-awareness, managing emotions, empathy, and social skills. But emotional maturity is more than just understanding our feelings. It's about how we act because of them. Raising our EQ is like having a toolbox filled with emotional skills, while emotional maturity is effectively using those tools to build a strong and fulfilling life. So today, we're going beyond EQ and exploring how to translate that emotional intelligence into emotional maturity. Remember, emotional maturity isn't about being emotionless. It's about handling those emotions constructively, taking responsibility for them, and using them to guide our actions. So, how do we move from understanding to doing? Well, first, let's discuss something very important: accountability. Emotionally mature men own their mistakes. They don't blame others, make excuses, or play the victim. They acknowledge their shortcomings, they apologize sincerely, and take steps to make amends. This isn't easy, but it's essential for our growth. Think about it. If we're always blaming someone else, we're never learning and we're never growing. Now, let's discuss impulse control. This builds directly on managing our emotions. It's about that pause between feeling and reaction, which we already discussed. But now, we're taking it a step further. Let's say we're in a disagreement with our partner. We're feeling angry and maybe even hurt. An immature response would be to lash out and potentially say something we'll regret. Well, what's a mature response to that situation? Well, taking a deep breath is a great first step. In a moment that it takes to take one breath, we may recognize our emotion, understand its source, and perhaps choose a more constructive response. Perhaps that's calmly explaining our perspective, or maybe it's taking some space to cool down before continuing the conversation. Another key element is resilience. Let's face it, life throws curveballs. Setbacks happen. Emotionally mature men don't crumble under pressure. They learn from their mistakes, adapt to change, and bounce back stronger. They understand that failure is a part of the process, and they use it as an opportunity for growth. This doesn't mean being emotionless or toughing it out. It means acknowledging the difficult emotions, processing them in a healthy way, and then finding the strength to move forward. Then there's integrity. This is about aligning our actions with our values. Emotionally mature men are honest, ethical, and dependable. They keep their promises, even when it's difficult. They stand up for what they believe in, even when it's unpopular. This builds trust and respect, which are crucial for healthy relationships and a fulfilling life. Try to remember that emotional maturity is a lifelong journey. It's not something we achieve overnight. There will be times when we fall short, when we react impulsively, or when we make mistakes. The key is to learn from those experiences and to keep practicing and keep striving to become a better version of ourselves. Well, that's it for today's episode of Men's Whole Health. I hope you found those insights helpful. Remember, emotional maturity isn't about suppressing our emotions. It's about understanding them, managing them, and using them to guide our actions in a way that builds stronger relationships, fosters resilience, and ultimately leads to a more fulfilling life. So be kind to yourself and keep working on it. I encourage you to take some time to reflect on what you heard here today. How can you improve your emotional maturity? What advice can you give to other listeners? Feel free to leave comments, as I'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic. After all, you may help me and someone else grow as well. I want to thank you for being here with me today and following me down the spiral into my mind. I appreciate your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Feel free to share this episode with others, as it may help them as well, and bring them over to our tribe. And as always, I want to remind you, if you change your perception, you will change your life. And I will see you next time, my friends.